This is the TUTTIO ICT Electric-Bike, and honestly, it's a real head-turner from the very first glance. The shape is bold, with that 20-inch fat tire look, a sturdy motorcycle-inspired aluminum frame, and a really prominent central display. It just screams power and durability. I'm an everyday rider, nothing fancy, and when I first unboxed this bike, I was both excited and a little hesitant. Sometimes big specs on paper don't always match up with real life. So for anyone looking out for real-world experience, I'm just a regular person who tried out the TUTTIO ICT, and I want to give you my quick review in simple, clear language. Let's start with how it feels just to look at and handle. This thing is pretty heavy. It's about 103 pounds. If you're thinking of carrying it upstairs or loading it into a car, you should know it's not exactly lightweight. The construction feels premium, with aluminum that's not just for show. It feels like it'll handle some real knocks. The design makes you feel more like you're on a small electric motorcycle than a traditional e-bike. I have to say, if you want something that draws attention and looks rugged, this fits the bill. What caught my eye the most, though, was the fat tire setup and the full suspension. These 20 by 4-inch tires are really grippy. Riding through city potholes, loose gravel, or even soft sand, I felt secure. The tires just eat up the uneven stuff. As for the suspension, there's an inverted front shock absorber and an air spring suspension system. If you're new, that basically means the bike has little shocks up front and back to help cushion the ride. But I'll be honest, while it's comfortable for city riding and occasional off-road, the suspension can feel pretty clunky over bigger bumps. At times it kind of bottoms out, especially if you hit a nasty dip. The adjustment options on the suspension are pretty limited, which left me wishing for something a bit more refined. I'm about 5'8", and the riding position feels aggressive. If you're on the shorter side, you might have trouble getting comfortable. The spec sheet says it fits riders from 5'2" up to 6'6", but I'm skeptical. Taller folks might be okay, but if you're under 5'7", the seat height and reach might be a stretch. For me, the long reach and high seat were manageable, but not ideal for slow, leisurely rides. If you love sitting upright, this might feel a bit too much like a motorbike. Now let's talk performance. The biggest reason I was curious about this model. On paper, it's got a 60-volt, 25-hour lithium battery and a 4,000-watt peak hub motor. What that means in real life is some serious speed and torque. The throttle response is almost instant. The official top speed is 43 to 49 miles per hour, and I believe it. For an e-bike, that's wild. When I took it out, I could feel the torque kick, which is especially useful climbing hills or accelerating from a stop. It has so much pickup that the front wheel can actually feel light or even lift if you hammer the throttle too hard. That said, this quick acceleration isn't always a good thing. There's almost no gentle ramp-up, so holding a slow speed, like 10 miles per hour, takes a careful hand. The throttle can feel jumpy, and I found it hard to cruise at slower speeds in crowded paths. For new riders, that instant power might take some getting used to. On pedal assist, there's a noticeable lag before the system kicks in. You have to spin the pedals about a turn and a half before you get that electric boost. In my opinion, for daily commuting or easy riding, I'd prefer the assist to feel a bit more seamless. I also noticed the bike's heavy build makes pure pedaling pretty tough if you run out of battery. Definitely something to consider. Speaking of battery, the range is impressive. Supposedly, you can get up to 36 miles on throttle only and maybe up to 100 miles on pedal assist if you go easy. In practice, I got around 31 to 33 miles in pure electric mode, riding with a mix of city roads and some trails. The battery is removable, which is super helpful for charging. I could just bring it inside without hauling the whole bike. Charging takes about 8 to 10 hours from empty. Not bad considering the size of this pack. I had some worries about overheating because of all that power. After a few long climbs and testing on hilly sand, the bike actually did overheat and shut off once. It reset after a while, but it's something I wanted to mention for anyone who plans to really push the motor hard. If you mostly use it for city rides or less demanding trails, I don't think it'll be an issue, but for mountains or soft sand, just be aware that it can get too hot. Now let's talk braking and control. I love that this model comes with a 4-piston hydraulic disc brake system on both front and back wheels. For new folks, hydraulic brake means it stops really well and feels smooth. I tested hard stops on both pavement and gravel, and I always felt in control, no worries about skidding or losing balance. The fat tires help with that stability too. The bike just feels solid and balanced. Even at higher speeds, the controls are basic but clear. The LCD display is right in the center, easy to see day and night. It shows speed, battery, and what assist mode you're in. There's a thumb throttle, a motorcycle-style twist shifter for the gears, and a simple menu button setup. It's all pretty straightforward, no tech degree required. There's a headlight and backlight built in, which I found super bright during dusk and at night. It adds a lot of safety and looks pretty cool, honestly, making it stand out from most e-bikes I've seen. The package even includes a helmet and goggles. I didn't expect much from these, but the helmet actually felt decently sturdy. For a first e-bike purchase, it's a nice extra. For anyone interested in accessories, the frame is also sturdy enough to add racks or carry more gear. I plan to install extra lighting and maybe a rear cargo rack in the future. So who do I think this bike fits? In my opinion, it's perfect for people who want a powerful, long-range ride without worrying about blending in. Commuters who want maximum speed and don't mind the extra weight, or riders who hit light trails and want a bike that feels almost like a motorcycle, this is for you. I'd recommend this for adults with some experience on e-bikes, or at least those who are comfortable with fast acceleration and a heavier build. One thing I have to mention, it's fast enough to break local e-bike laws in a lot of places. With a top speed over 28 miles per hour, you might not be able to use it legally on certain roads or bike paths. That's not a deal breaker for me since I mainly ride on private property and trails, but it's something to keep in mind if you plan to commute in the city where they're strict about e-bike rules. In terms of comfort, if you're someone under 5'7", or you like a very soft and customizable suspension, this might not be your best choice. The claimed height range is optimistic, and the suspension, while better than basic spring forks, isn't plush enough for technical mountain biking or super rocky trails. For paved and mixed surfaces, though, it's really nice. One minor annoyance: when cruising slowly, the throttle is tough to feather. It's either off or on, with not a lot of smooth response in between. It took me a few rides to get used to it. As a tip for new riders, try the pedal assist at lower settings first until you get the feel for the throttle. Otherwise, you might get surprised by the quick surge of power. As someone who rides various e-bikes, I really appreciate how strong, fast, and head-turning this one is. I love the way it pushes uphill, how confident it feels at 20 to 30 miles per hour, and the extra safe braking. I wish the suspension was a little softer and the throttle less twitchy, but for the price, the performance and range are tough to beat. In conclusion, the TUTTIO ICT electric bike is built for riders who want real muscle in their e-bike and don't mind the extra weight or bold looks. From my experience, it's great for longer rides, mixed terrain, and anyone wanting a motorcycle feel without an actual motorcycle license. I would suggest it for bigger or taller folks and those who want top speed more than long pedal comfort. The build is solid, the design is sleek, and it does exactly what it promises: power, distance, and style. To learn more about the TUTTIO ICT electric bike, please check the comments section. Thank you for watching.